Rumors are that allegedly Gizelle Bryant's dirty tricks at Real Housewives of Potomac have finally caught up to her. What's going on? Is she about to be replaced? I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk? And welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified, so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. All right, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around rumors that allegedly Gizelle Bryant's dirty tricks at Real Housewives of Potomac may have finally caught up to her. Is she about to be replaced? I have some new information that may answer that question and more, and here it goes. Rumors are that allegedly Gizelle Bryant isn't as irreplaceable as some people thought. A source said the backlash Gizelle Bryant has faced this season wasn't a big surprise to fans, but a huge surprise to Gizelle and production. The source continued, "It seems Gizelle's dirty tricks have finally caught up to her. So much so that allegedly behind the scenes, Gizelle's team is worried about her being replaced. Gizelle doesn't think it's possible, even with the huge fan backlash, as she digs into her alleged Chris made me uncomfortable drama. Her team sees a huge issue," continued the source. "Gizelle is losing the narrative. She is no longer seen as a victim by no stretch of the imagination. It's one thing," said the source, "to have fans upset with you and YouTube commenters dragging you, but to have a huge publication like Essence call you out on your malicious behavior takes things to a whole new level." So, with the latest Essence piece about Gizelle, could it cause her to be replaced at Real Housewives of Potomac? Well, absolutely, said an industry insider. If Bravo let Nene go, they would most certainly let Gizelle go, because, unlike Nene never embarrassed the network while she was a cast member. The insider continued, "One thing Bravo works hard at is distancing their brand from alleged racism. The network works very hard to be inclusive and has made great strides in attempting to create a more safe work environment for both on-air and off-air talent and team members. So to have a person like Gizelle who goes against all of those things, then she becomes a liability to the network," ended the insider. Another insider said, "Gizelle has a tendency to dig deep and lean into the most unflattering topics for ratings and social media hits. Before COVID, that may have worked, but since COVID, the audience perspective has changed, and they want more organic and honest storylines, something that Gizelle is incapable of bringing to the show. Gizelle," said the source, "is not a Karen, Kenya, or Nene. She is not good at being a lovable villain because she's not honest. She's more mean-spirited than anything, and a team player is something that she just cannot be, which spells disaster for any franchise," ended the source. And all sources agree that Gizelle is definitely replaceable and may need to be replaced in order to save the Real Housewives of Potomac franchise. Everyone sees right through Gizelle and her manipulative ways. One fan said, "A Real Housewives of Potomac franchise without Gizelle is one I would support. It's easy to see that Gizelle is turning into a real-life Karen right before our eyes, and it's dangerous and scary. It may be for the best that Gizelle exits the franchise with the help of the network and producers." Now, kinfolk, that is some information, a lot of information that came from a rumor that I heard at the beginning of this week about Gizelle potentially being replaced. Now, one thing about this rumor that I can actually see as being factual, and I think it did a lot to keep this rumor probably in the forefront of everyone's minds, is this. The Essence article that came out, I think last week or this week, it really did open up a lot of people's eyes to the fact that no one is buying what Gizelle, Ashley, and Robin is trying to sell. And that is a very telling thing, because when you have a publication that comes out with an op-ed about how a majority or all black cast is some way perpetuating racism in society, then that's a big thing. That's something that production and the network cannot afford to ignore. And all of it is because of Gizelle and her manipulative ways, as the sources are saying. So with that being said, I do feel like that production and the network may be at a place where they may be ready to replace Gizelle, simply because Gizelle represents every single solitary thing that the network and producers are trying to run away from in light of the aftermath of Nene's lawsuit. Gizelle Bryant really does have a tendency to dig deep and lean into some of the most unflattering topics. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like she's willing to stop anytime soon. So with that being said, it hits you for another issue that Gizelle has, and it's this. Gizelle, when it comes to Real Housewives of Potomac, is so one-track minded. And I do blame producers for this. Producers have really, and if you feel like it's a rumor or speculation, it's hard for them to beat those charges that Gizelle is not a producer and they allow Gizelle to get away with anything and everything, simply because she has, and there has been no reprimand for those things that she has done. So the other big issue is that Gizelle has been made to believe that the things that she's doing are the right things to do for ratings and for drama. The only thing about it is the things in the vehicles in which she's using to get ratings or, drama or start to trending topics about Real Housewives of Potomac are all the wrong vehicles to jump in. You have the alleged racism. And then you have the alleged sexual drama that she's having with Chris. Like, all of those things are the worst topics and also the worst time that you could bring them to light, especially in an entertainment venue. So with that being said, it does seem as if Gizelle has a hard time getting off this track. Like Nene said, she is going down the wrong road. And everyone sees this but Gizelle and production. So with that being said, I think it's very hard for them to save Gizelle's image and her place at Real Housewives of Potomac if you are one of her producer friends, because she's not giving you anything to work with. She's made it abundantly clear that she's not in the business of apologizing or trying to get along with certain cast members. And so with that being said, Gizelle at this point seems more of a liability than anything else. Now, the next part of this rumor, kinfolk, is something that I find very apparent, but it was kind of confusing because other people didn't see this way. And it's this. I am one of those people that feels like Gizelle is easily replaceable. A lot of people feel like Gizelle is never going to get fired or Gizelle could never get fired, but I don't see it like that, because I feel like as a veteran housewife or an OG housewife in Gizelle's case, there are not a lot of people, fans, or cast members who seem to be willing to fight for Gizelle to stay on the show. I mean, if you look at paying attention to like social media metrics and comments on both Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, out of 100 or even 1,000 comments about Gizelle, there may be only 1-2 positive comments. It's bad when your own supporters really can't defend you. You know what I mean? And it's hard to defend Gizelle, which is a bad thing for her, because if she is going to get the boot or replaceable, no one is going to feel a certain type of way about it, simply because, again, Gizelle does not give production, the network, or even her fans a lot to work with. It is just pure malicious evil that she is doing and creating on the show. The person who a lot of fans and commenters want to make Candiace out to be, that is Gizelle. 100% Gizelle. And that is an issue for Gizelle and for the network, because fans, as my sources are saying, are more in tune to how storylines and story plots work. This little petty drama of your husband cheating and this and that, or your husband being inappropriate, may have worked pre-pandemic, but post-pandemic, the audience mind is so much more intelligent than that. And the commentary has picked up to where you have a publication like Essence even dissecting your drama and your evil ways. So with that being said, it just doesn't look good for Gizelle and her future on the show, which I am surprised a lot of other people do not see. She is 100% replaceable. Now, kinfolk, the last thing for this rumor that I do find very true, and I think that if I was in production or at the network, I would probably see this, with 20/20 vision, and it's this. You know, again, kinfolk, Gizelle has become a huge liability for the network. The two main topics that a network or a company wants to stay clear of, Gizelle is just throwing it in our faces every single week. And she's doing it in a very dangerous way. I think Gizelle has to be replaced because what she's doing is very dangerous. And you don't want to give a blueprint like that to other housewives, because what it says is if you allow Gizelle to be this reckless and this dangerous with other people's reputation and their livelihoods, then and not punish her for it, then a lot of other housewives may take that formula and do the same thing at their franchise. And now you're at the Wild Wild West. You know, I kind of feel like, you know, Chris, the same way Ashley is trying to, Michael is trying to sue Candiace, pretty much should have sued Gizelle for just the pure evilness and disrespect of playing in his face with those alleged accusations. And I think that's the reason why Gizelle really ultimately should be replaced, because what she's doing is extremely dangerous. Now, my sources behind the scenes are saying that right now there are no talks of replacing any of the ladies. But, you know, as the season comes to an end and as production starts to doing their, their end of the season assessments of how everything went and of everybody on the cast, I think Gizelle's name and come in the talks of being let go, demoted, or replaced is definitely going to come up. Oh, without a doubt. And I think that if it does come up and if she does become replaced, then it's only to her own fault that happened, because Gizelle at some point has to be held accountable. A lot of people think that the network and producers are not going to do that, but I see it differently. But kinfolk, what I want to know is, do you see it the same way I see it? Do you think Gizelle is replaceable and is now have a bigger chance of being replaced after this Essence article? Or do you think Gizelle is the golden child of Real Housewives of Potomac and they'll never let her go? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over in the next one. Peace.